This is the first screen that you see when you run BlinkTalk. First thing I'm going to do is set up the camera. Then I'm going to click train.
Look at the screen and relax your face. Do not look at the camera. Now make your indicating gesture and hold it until I tell you to relax. I recommend you look up. Now relax. Training successful. I detected your blink gesture. Ensure use camera is ticked so you can use it.
So I used blink, and you'll notice that every time I blink it's going to beep because it's showing me what it thinks is a gesture. People like to blink, so not every blink is a gesture. So if you do choose blink, change this whole time up to about say 0.4, 0.5 seconds. So then you can blink as usual without it triggering a gesture. The problem is I don't like waiting 0.5 seconds. So what I'm going to use for my gesture instead is look up. And the reason for that is people don't really look up every couple of seconds. So I'm going to retrain that.
Look at the screen and relax your face. Do not look at the camera. Now make your indicating gesture and hold it until I tell you to relax. I recommend you look up. Now relax. Training successful. I detected your brow down right gesture.
So
ensure use camera is ticked so you can use it.
I must have moved my eyebrow, so I'm going to try that again.
Look at the screen and relax your face. Do not look at the camera. Now make your indicating gesture and hold it until I tell you to relax. I recommend you look up. Now relax. Training successful.
That's better.
I detected your look up gesture. Ensure use camera is ticked so you can use it.
It's saying ensure use camera is ticked, so yeah, I want to tick that. Now what I can do is I can bring that down to 0.1 seconds. I don't have to wait so long when I'm indicating. Now I can just flick my eye up quickly. Much better. So what BlinkTalk does is it scans through. Oh, hang on a second. That's unusable. Click settings again. I've changed the wrong thing here. Scan speed, say. Scan speed is how quickly it changes between different sections. So if I say about 1 second, that's much better. You can speed it up if the person becomes more proficient and they prefer it faster, but I think this is usable. So whenever you indicate, it will go into the area that it's currently highlighting. So in this case, say I want to say hello to somebody. I've never used this app before. This is a clean installation. It's got no history of the kind of things that I like to say. So it doesn't know that I'm going to say hello. So I'm going to eye up on there. And then when it goes on to the row that I want, and then the letter that I want, I just put my eye up. So that was H. E, I'm going to wait for the top row, eye up. And then I'll wait for it to go across to E. And then eye up. Next row is where L is. And I wait for L. And again. And I wait for L. And then I wait for O on the last one. And that's that. That's hello done. So once it scans through and it sees I haven't selected anything, it'll go back into selecting different areas. So I'm going to go to speak.
Hello.
It said hello. So just to make it a little bit more interesting, I'm going to say hello, how are you? So notice at the top there's some words. The more I use it, the more it learns about me and it gets better at predicting which words I'm going to say next. So far all it knows about me is I like to say the word hello. So I'm going to go into there Oops, I missed it, but don't worry, it'll cycle back to the first one. Hello. And then I'm going to wait for it to go into the keyboard section. There we go. And then I'll wait for H. Then I'll wait for O. Then the row with W on it. Now I want a space bar because I want a different word. That's the space bar. Then I want A again. A. R. After this I want the top row straight away. Then I want E. And then I want a space. Then I want, oh, I missed it. Oh, I went in and then I forgot to indicate that I want the space. It'll go back to the first one. Gives you a second chance. How are, and then I want Y, then O, then U. Y. O. And then I'll wait for it to come out of the keyboard so I can tell it to speak.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you? So, as I said, it starts to learn what you're going to say next. So, if someone else now visits, it knows that hello, how are you is something that I will normally say. So I can choose from the words at the top. Hello, how are you? And you see, suddenly, hello, how are you? Took me less than 2 seconds to type in.
Hello, how are you?
Let's say I've got an Alexa Home Assistant. A. Now, as I say, because this is the first time I've ever used this, then it's going to be slow for me to type it in the first time. Alexa. I haven't got an Alexa, by the way, so this isn't going to do anything. Alexa. And then I want that space that I've just missed. Turn lights on, I'm going to say. Now the reason I'm not going to say turn on the lights, I'm going to say turn lights on, because then later I can say turn lights off, and only the last word is different. And you see the short look up time is really good. It's much quicker than holding your eyes closed for half a second. So turn lights, and then I want a space. Must remember to select the space once I go into the row. That's better. I'm getting the hang of this now. And then I want on. So I'm going to speak that, and then a listening home assistant would pick up Alexa, turn lights on, and hopefully turn the lights on.
Alexa, turn lights on.
So now, if I want to do Alexa, turn lights off, Alexa isn't suggested at the top in the words, so I'm going to go into A. And there it is, Alexa. So I'll just wait for it to cycle through the keyboard and come out, and then I'll choose the word section. Alexa, turn lights. Now I don't want them on, I want them off. So I'm going to wait for it to go back to the keyboard section. Alexa, turn lights. O, F, F. I should have gone straight back into that, that would have been better. Alexa, turn lights off.
Alexa, turn lights off.
So from now on, if I want to control something in the house using Alexa, look up, A row, A, there's the word Alexa. And then I'll wait for it to go back to the word selection. Alexa, turn lights on. I want the lights back on. And I'll wait for it to come out and speak.
Alexa, turn lights on.
And then if I want to turn the lights off, see Alexa's starting to show up at the top now because it's learning that that's a word I use very often. And then I can turn the lights on or off. There you go. So as you see, it starts to learn things that you say regularly based on sentences.
Alexa, turn lights off.
So I can say, I want to go to the park, I want to go to the doctor's, I want to go to the pub, wherever it is that you want to go to. It's a very quick process. So let's say someone else comes to greet me again. As you can see, this is now becoming very fast because I've used it for about 15 minutes.
Hello, how are you?
And it's learning me just within 15 minutes. It's learning the kinds of things I like to say, and it just becomes a question of looking up at the right time to form long sentences. So I'll have a quick look now over in the settings section. An assistant will have to go through this. You can select your language. So it's German. That'll download the German language from the internet, and it's got some German characters in there. We also have Spanish, French, Portuguese, or Portuguese Brazilian. The difference being some of the words that are used to describe things like mice and keyboards are different. Download Portuguese, and there you have some Portuguese relevant letters. If you happen to be Arabic speaking, then this mode, this has got something extra because of the way Arabic seems to work, and I hope I got this right. I don't know how to say anything, so I'm just going to make something up. So that's the first letter of the alphabet, which I believe is the equivalent of I. But oh no, let's say I don't want A. I want to delete that, and I wait until I go to the delete row and delete. That's that X with the arrow on it. So let's choose another letter. Right, so I've got that, and then, oops, wrong row. There's a special key at the top of the keyboard, this one, and it lets you decorate each letter. So I've put one of those above it, and then I'll choose another letter, and that's looks like a W. And then I'm going to put something above the W. I'm going to put a circle above the W. Not this one, the next one. There. So that little circle has appeared above the W. And if you delete, it just takes off the circle. That's how it works. I'll put a line underneath the W shaped thing. And then I'll speak whatever that is. Wassa. Wassa. Okay. Any other settings that I could show you? Oh yeah. I'll switch back to, oh, it's right to left now. So I'm actually changing the wrong thing there. That's where English has gone. Right, so there's another layout, not only alphabetical, but speed. And what this does, I mean, everyone who can read and write knows the order of the alphabet, but what speed does is it analyzes the dictionary for the language, and it puts all of the letters that are most used closest to the top and on the left. So in English, the most commonly used letters are E, then T, then A, then I, then O, and you can see that on the screen. Top left, E, to the right of that is T, beneath the E is A. So if I wanted to write some words, the idea is that they take a shorter amount of time. So if I write hello, I'll ignore the word hello at the top. I'll pretend I'm typing it for the first time. So I'm going to go down to H. H isn't used all that often, but E, L and O are used often. Up immediately to go back into the top row again. And there you go. So as you see, that was faster than the original time that I wrote the word hello. And that's because
Hello.
E, L and O are frequently used letters, so they're closer to the top. You have to learn where these letters are, or what you can do is, as you're waiting for the thing to go across and select H, you can be looking for your next letter and go, oh, E's at the top. Right, scan speed I've shown. If you're struggling for the speed that it's scanning at, you can have it scan every 2.7 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever you're most comfortable with. If you're feeling super fast, it goes up to an practically unusable speed, in my opinion. But I'd rather give you something that's you're able to choose something that's too fast than not fast enough. I wouldn't recommend trying 0.3 seconds. That looks a bit silly to me. 0.5 perhaps. No, still too fast for my liking. I'll go for a second. My brain doesn't work that quick. Other things, there are other indicator methods. Assistant can tap the screen if it's a handheld device with a touch screen, or they can click the mouse if you've got a mouse plugged in, or if it's a computer, a laptop or something, or the assistant can press a space bar on the keyboard. Those are there. They were there from before I had the ability to detect camera. The camera support came later, but if the camera's not working for you for some reason, or maybe your camera's broken, then you can do the indicator that you want and the assistant can just tap the screen. I always recommend that you have, say, a laptop with a webcam on it, or so that it doesn't move, or if you use a phone like I am now, then you put it on a little stand or something so nobody can touch it and it doesn't get knocked over. But anyway, that is BlinkTalk.